Say, Sankamini Bibia can I say on Chema, some Aminko can and Kakado, seven cassette, private security for a treasure.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
I'm saying, no, I yet dear, but and we try about 5 minutes.
Ajita.
And I will say cleaner. Abaya do a coco.
Captain Smart.
Oh yeah, way. And then Busan say, Sankaman Fabia, ma. And I'm saying, on Tremmy and some American. Go back and said, then I'm in call and I'm in Coca. And I'll say, or person make us say, young work cleaners. I'm so okay. And also in your bad. But I know me man by 3 minutes we meet you at Kahwasem. So when I got here, and then Mr. Wahina said, and there'll be a time with them coca. When GH boy man, and also I rent, I'm so okay. I'm for rent now, uncle. Because rent there, who are Shanty region, rent affect you, who are Greater Accra, Central Western. Easy, Mammy Cassam show. Who are yet to Jubilee House of Crown rent how? Who are yet to Jubilee House of Crown rent? In fact, yes, no crown rent high. Wait, what I say. But my member Ghana Armed Forces Abaso. Maybe I make us say, we in Nipa Bain, what so said Dane, who I wouldn't say them tear. Yes, I can make a trail. We are the papa and swabeka. Me who video be, and I don't pay me by Yana. My able producer, Godwin Kwekutete, Esa alert me. Me who say soldier for me work quite one watch rest of the year. Students be better dressy. Many J papa. And I was told say, no more control a year BC cry. And if you look at how soldier for no, it's me share say and Quran dressy na a year. Stay. Just 2 minutes. We are blacks, we are not white. Yay, assassin so we wo ye before enya abrofo. It is a wooden Persiana or Persuana na to say Brunia. Bini. Bini. Ada, and we have a more pano. One about say heat, Babani trim. No baby says, oh, you be on drink correct. Yeah, son, you go school. No, yeah, before. Yeah, Bibini be a hedger. It's a whoop, wouldn't you be a drama? So be a drama no tree the car. One bedroom, and Sabe fit. And Fabian, Dakra 1 bedroom, 200 cities free that catch him on your lady beam of a bedroom. When you make your show, no query, no nothing. But so many swag, when yes, a sicano na catch your cotton account. So that 3 days. That's how many 2,000. No, what 300, no, I'm 1,007. No man, crack Abiao, on one back your office point. Wait, I try to say, this one to check me salary, no, na. I said, can I say 2,000 about me 1,007? Besides, say Monday, Uber Juma. Ghana 4. Tuesday, no Uber Juma, or said David. Wednesday, swear, or said Mama. I be out show cratabi. And now my information be said, won't me ma. Wo yare. I said there be man yet. And they are tearful. If it's a man in a corner, so on co school that crop a pen about with train school fees, manatural brophobia, a yabra say, I am not a secam.
You and I kill you, I flee.
I am a very sick.
Going.
I and my doctor is on bed. She said, mean to me, Majuma, me yarepa. My doctor say, wa Jimmy ato empem.
Bibia wrong.
Matiapo, me beduma.
Bibia
no do. Say enye do. Say what tiasio. Say what tiasio. Sa na ni bibini tina.
Bibia wrong for baumia.
Eh, before. Yempa dia emro, ye na nyame boy enti. Enkwa hu na nyame gu ye. egu nipa mu no ogugu bibini Adam oye bibini ofichechewre Adam chechewre ena ofire si ye nyini no menim baby a God will call primary school but definitely be so many important ho
Wani.
menim baby a misachu okọ primary school but me sure say anya greater Accra be voter regi say e ko school ana wa ye o more say ana me boa wo ye ni say ebi o ho ana wa ye ni say say wa wo hwe na o more na fu a na wo keka no wa ko ye ni say na teacher ni no or the cane enemu na o hwe say o more no te say. And that time na ye hwe ye more wo school na ye say ye more mu aye fi ye more funo it shows how irresponsible our parents were. Because akwada ondi fie beye edu 9 e more no say de tie bia no emfa ne ho eti e kire say ye maame ne ye papa no no mani nkoye ho gwen. Eti that time no it was education eye woman sua school ko ena ma ye maame ne ye papa no hu say na akwada mpo esese ebubu ni more nti uko school no I'm kind of say teacher for is it show your fingers don't come be graffiti no why you won say your friend inspection every morning your inspection bibini oh here micromanagement and macro every black man anything that me I am penny say you better 2 year what president in seminole bebre every in some say the institutions emfa Africa you need to understand how Africa operates and how the black man behave. It is a way you say you're practicing democracy and that you want to import and transport what is done in Europe, what is done in America into Africa. Massa, you yourself will go back and say that yes, ancestor constitution. And this one, let me say this humbly and respectfully to one your constitution be mindful the powers that you take away from the president. When you're careful, I am telling you, we will go back and say that yes, of us our powers and my president.
Captain Smart, the king of morning shows.
It's a good school here, more.
He is smart. He is unique. He
yes, see, I mean, we are sick. These are some of the things that sometimes when I sit down, I ask myself, since when? And I say, "Kofa dey wabroche by force near the bank Ghana." Pacho, abroche. Ekwan papa na wo ho dey ekwan ntimi mfa bi mba. Edan a efe ye kwa ntimi mfa no bi mba o. Train wo ho ntimi mfa bi mba. School danya efe papa ntimi fa bi ma gwen teacher fo a ye hwe wo yie e mo wo kira de yie ntimi fa no bi ma gwen me yakwa say oh me kwa America me to New York first ne yakari Yankee me hwe ne ma mo ye ho no ye de no bi ba ha e be yie na ye refi say ye culture your understanding how we behave and this nobody can ever advise any president any prime minister or what Israel said say Israel it is part of their DNA. It is Israel need to say Israel say Israel need to say oh my Israel now man Ghana for Jerusalem ne Tel Aviv for no fit out by the way videos Cyrene na born the chairman say ye ya had say kone ba ye be siren ye pe be di eti akwhye
le
na ye Israel for the Ghana ni wo free ayi your friend say me pe kro bi di aban twapiesie what Israel o say ye kokko a ye kwa he ko a wo ni Israel da ben ye kokko a ye bo siren said ye be ya ye be tse bomb bi ba na ye pe be di eti akwhye the structure of Israel, the socio-political orientation, the psychological orientation of every Israeli is war. Take it or leave it. Israel, for they are not interested in they are Israel interested they are interested in defeating countries, defeating nations, taking over lands. That is Israel for you. Why? Because from creation, that's the orientation God gave them. From her.
Captain Smart.
Can I disturb your peace this morning? You know the natural orientation of Ghana? Food. Any na asa. Opa jidi, opa jai. Ghana ha. If you die, nyame bob asase we wie ya ye bedu ha. Say you free Bontuku ne ba yo, say you free Mali ne ba yo, you free Songa Empire ne ba yo, you free Israel ne ba yo. You bedu ha na ade ane hia yen, eye duane aye die ene na.
Me da se bebre nyame sha brother Dennis Charles.
Eti Ghana ni ba bia so wa ko school or your professor mposa den ensu to ade e ba ni tima ye love making.
Me da se bebre nyame sha brother Dennis Charles and Kwamra, I love you all.
Makenya how there for any two from Checo wife. Checo girlfriend, Checo fiancé. Ensu to pede baba bia ho asore.
Nyame sha brother Dennis Charles.
Me boa. June, July, June, July, Yenkamum, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. When you say we are in Africa, any pie you want to supply one April. Are you aware? Titru Ghana April for those such a month because June, July is so top. Papa Kwedma, Mami Kwedma, Sabi,
It's more name when I'm a shed and my
I brought you up on you waiting. It's so 20 percent of men. Your orientation, and yet it is a comedy gun and he pair of a trabeti. I'm not on one. School kakra, they are just a negligible factor, proportion of the population. I don't want to digress. Let me come back. It's a Libya per inspection. You must be on the black man 24/7 to inspect him. Or her. And yes, sir. It's me who says soldier for no. After the way I'm dressed, oh my God, I was so happy. Yen ye sha sesa akoda edin samfun wo school a then ye be no ye be bona ba. Yes, I agree. At a certain level, some of the teachers were going so extreme. I mean, teacher ni bi wo krobi so bi mboni din. Na ope about that young boy no teacher ni pene maame.
Wani.
Ana ne maame am pe no. Ana ne maame ni kope coordinating director.
Gwen.
No to cronim. Eti teacher ni fa maame ni ho abufuo
Ajeta
e your tiny be sha akoda keto anim
Ajeta
akoda de bibi keto de we osi gua no no. Some of these things are the excesses of supervision, and I've said that look, as Africans we need to do a comprehensive discussion on the word supervision. As Africans, we need to have an extensive discussion on the words monitoring and evaluation. We cannot import foreign monitoring and evaluation principles and dynamics into our system. Teacher for no, yet too many few ones. Eti soldier for the general choir and many Ghana forces. I wish somebody soldier for we. So that you know, and Okuta, your friend saying, Afe, and I only team Emmanuel. Wambono, Wanjojo no. Bibini biya sadote. Mena me catch it.
Captain Smart, the king of morning shows.
The black man. You need to give him black attention and black supervision. Black na wo hono. You can't be a black. Black no any insult. I am confirming black is authority. Black is supremacy. It is a obi a bibinia. It's someone who said there is a certain authority because every black man plays the authority of God on earth, but you are a human being. It is a one shame here. Uja no be the opebia.
Apple.
So therefore mo yes adu nyame nhira mo e bia na obi ntiase. Date that Donald Trump say America for be about school.
Captain Smart, the king of morning shows.
Switzerland, as I say, no, they are going to introduce punishment into their education curriculum. Dentra. Can somebody explain that to me?
Captain Smart.
Almighty Russia is saying that they are going to introduce a certain level of punishment into the education curriculum. As for the Islamic nations, Sharia law is there. Within some full school, you'll be punished. Adenta, starting here, they have taken it away from us. And the for America for Sabi, woman say who and the right system. You see, punishment can be regulated because watch this. Sabikum nipa, ya de court. I will be punished. But say a punish me or court because I'm a kum nipa. There is a laid down criteria from which the judge can select the punishment for me. Say obi akose se akwada bia and also you want a punishment. Say it's punishment must be regulated. It's some of the teachers, some of the tutors or whatever educational administrators may go overboard. What we have to do is not to take away punishment from our schools, but we need to regulate it. Number 2, Ghana higher pediane. Ghana pet and a nipati sorry how much 2 a.m. not say come no. Nana Kwame 2 a.m. Nina nani ya nini tia dumfa. Bethlehem Nana Kwame you 2 a.m. ne friend ba obi yen. Wa Josephine Obako ko fe. Say Nana Kwame nana say e wo fufu wie e wa dumfa onto fufu ndi aka ne ntonche na Kwame wa. Wo na wondi fufu ade ache so. Fufu na ya wa wie na ye ko ye de we Peter de aka no me dia mentimi andi Abraham dia wentimi andi Nana Kwame na nkasa ne dia wentimi andi wa Peter wo dia wentimi andi no na o ma fa nsuo ahohoro ho we ne ya sa wa afra ne ya de nkwan na guhu ne de asija so ne ya noa Nana Kwame otoi obe sori ahomachi 2 a.m. obe ko na fufuo na ya no asi wona na Kwame akodini nyina
obi say boy idin shi
me boy catch up some
obi say boy idin shi
na Kwame kwa kodini nyina we bibini betimi asori anytime maka cho se come de me obedidi eye aduane eti say obi ayam from so school
obi say boy
ya dey ado punishing no asi jai if you say farming is part of us Africa sa commercialized farming ne ade no na ye kua kase no ye betimi aye ba ye nduru ho e be chewo wani ye de no a basket, food basket across every African country. And now can confront yourself. And you must understand Africa like Osage for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah did. Eti, we go go mo techima no basket to ebi si ho.
Bibini au.
Uncle Kojo, why wani. Opening Kwabena Baini.
I don't know.
Oba Time.
I don't know.
Adwa Bochwa.
I don't know.
Tashola.
I don't know.
Womo don kete. 2 poles, 3 poles,
I don't know.
8 poles. Je what do so pay 5 to 10. Kaka ye kikambo mani enye aduane adi. Eti sa kwada ye bone wo school a e me mfa do. Anything about farming and punishing, so that's what we can take it out of our education system. But we need to maintain strict discipline. It is soldier for no nyame islamu fire there. And boys na kasa soldier for no e ma mo dress ye enu nu wo mutimu wie no ma chia soldier for no ma ye mo too. How beautiful. So what it means is that video that TV is not watching. You hear say a best supervising nipa. We said that now a whole group general manager. Onye Mr. Shandoff manager TV, manager radio. He is the general manager. Onia Group. Why is he standing here this morning? He's not even sitting. Mr. Shandoff is standing here. Honorable. He is here. Honorable. Why? He got to be here. Obedu has a say at prof. I said I didn't say chinchim niema. And so he say prof, he wants to be seen doing something because why? The boss is here. That is why I keep advising every African boss. Your presence alone without saying anything or giving any instruction is enough for every worker, for every subordinate under you to start. Prof, you say free social say you say Mr. Shandoff. You see you doing something, so you take your hands off. This is how you manage an African. Lakaka. That's why I keep saying that African ibabia peja. Lakaka. With the jano, man free range. Lakaka. When you beba hosono. Nyama be ofie ho do aka so be bon sama manyame lakaka but anya nu nti de ba ye number 2 na me wi na me come any should so rent the so I have heard we were told by the ex-while administration say they be introduce Chinese kasa we your schools please, this is rubbish. We will not sit in this country, this age and time. You try French, and with your schools. You are the bluffo, I say you call by force. You show schools. You say you see a sank of Chinese. How many guns in Greater Accra and a steady gun at school? Mr. Producer, permit me. Let me leave the rent issue this morning. Permit me. Let me digress. And then, may the rent issue no better. Now, not talking about language. Because see, I'm not careful. Yet was na le you be who an say ya bra boy na say say to come here. Make country man whistle. But the unfortunate situation they say means me intro. Wait. Nana Kwame Chiwe Godwin. Oh yeah, office somenya. Emra. Somenya ye krobo asase. From my Godwin paper. Sa some American trees say on tronko krobo so between try. Godwin, get a pen and paper and start writing. He cannot. Peter is another. Peter, can you write away? Mama the pen the paper. Sa sama me ken on tro the ewe na yehe.
Ojai.
Colonialism may be withdrawn, may have withdrawn its flags. Colonialism. They came to Africa with their flags. So in Ghana, we had the British flag. In Nigeria, we had a British flag. When you go to Mali and others, they have the French flags. They may have withdrawn their flags, but it's left behind a tongue that still governs the mind. Mr. Shanoff, he's older than all of us in this room. He understands that language is key. And let me say this again. Our colonial masters may have withdrawn their flags. So now Ghana, you don't see the red British crown flag, they say red, blue, and white. You don't see that anymore. But listen to me carefully, my dear brothers and sisters. They left behind a tongue that still governs the mind. Language, once a tool of connection, has become a gatekeeper of power, identity, and access. When African children are punished for speaking their mother tongue, when knowledge is validated only in foreign grammar, and when the native tongue is confined to markets but never parliaments, then language itself becomes quiet, cunning form of slavery. Sitting here and talking, this is what I could type. Colonialism, they may have withdrawn their flags. But these same people left behind a certain tongue that will still control your mind. And we sit here in this country and we think that language is nothing. So we have allowed the tree language. And we have imported so many things into the tree language. So when I sit here and say Tofiakwa, Peter, say what I say? Is Tofiakwa tree? Is Tofiakwa Ghanaian? No. Language has always remained a tool of connection. Once a tool of a connection has become a gatekeeper of power, identity, and access. So when African children are punished and prohibited from and for speaking their mother tongues, when language is validated, when knowledge is validated only in foreign grammar, we get people who can speak very polished English. Who told you that lie? Who pass for master's degree with PhD in Abra? Now you challenge. We are morning show presenter. Oh, yeah, Bema Betra. They are topic.
He is a boy. Isn't she?
No father brought for who no trouble in my home. And the Sokromodum, the Sokromoche. Were you able to bring it up? We did.
Isn't she? Obi is a boy. Isn't she?
African children across the continent, from the KG classroom to the energized primary classrooms to the spirited university corners, we are being punished for speaking our own language. When power is validated only in foreign grammar, and when native language is confined to the markets but never parliaments, then language itself becomes a quiet, cunning form of slavery. Let me read what I typed so well so you can understand. This is what I wrote. I said that colonialism may have withdrawn its flags, but it left behind a tongue that still governs the mind. Language, once a tool of connection, has become a gatekeeper of power, identity, and access. When African children are punished for speaking their mother tongues, when knowledge is validated only in foreign grammar, and when the native tongue is confined to markets but never parliament, then language itself becomes a quiet canon form of slavery. We are still slaves. Why do we have to introduce Chinese to my little child and my unborn child? Because where will be why? You see, I get sick. Yeah, go school, no, you trust you say. Speaking of vernacular is prohibited.
Bibini, Bibini and Napo. Bibini,
Bibi aba mi tim na mpesa me type.
Wani. When we now science and symptoms, she say a normal day the man who say say bibi happen. When we science and symptoms, she say a normal day the man who say say bibi happen.
A hard dream. Now,
He is a boy. He didn't.
you are careful.
Jesus.
Yes, sir. We may think that Abrofrin di and so, but still Omudi and so. The hard dream pan say oh. O mine yetim no. What was ana bibia bo bitrim. 2024 it was I say your man go school and go to Chinese. When you get before this side the buy. China eba mem ha. Ye kofa bibi ba ya fa Sino-Hydro. And I yes and neighbor no. Sino-Hydro Kojo Oppong kuma no information minister. Edware num ka che Ghana for na say ye krom kwan ensuo gu adan den e be ni na. Tie mam kwanum to box site nko. So say ye box site na fi krom akoye. Why is Kojo Oppong kuma? Today you have the effrontery to speak rubbish. Now what am I so you have the effrontery to speak rubbish. Somebody should call Kojo Oppong and ask him, say, Sino-Hydro scan away. Nana Adutwum Nebusafo made you a foolish guy in this city and transported you to the corners of this country as a fool. You never anticipated your antics. Being managed and overhauled and re-engineered for you to present it to the Ghanaian as nobody but a cool. Today you have the guts to speak. And sometimes when I sit back and I watch people, I would like to stand, please. When I sit down and I watch people saying that they've gone to school, they can speak English. I watch people, they say that we've gone to school, we can do certain analysis in somebody's language. We've gone to school, we can do a comprehensive something in somebody's language. And if you cannot actually sit down, educate, talk, inspire, encourage, motivate people in your own language, you are nothing but you are a big fool.
It is Caso, or Manyo Hiamai. Nenam a memoir enquietino.
I am sorry if I use the word comedy, but I got no point, I got nowhere than to use that word. Listen, as Africans, we have sat aloof, watching and gauging, without thinking. And listen to me, Africans, we are the principal architects of our own lives. Nobody is coming from anywhere to draw any line from us. It can be America, it can be UK, it can be the French, it can be whoever. They will not come here to draw any line of our developmental agenda for us. Africa started 2060, what was that? 1980 development agenda. We moved it on to 1990, whatever agenda. Then we brought it to 1996 agenda. We moved it on to 2000, then to 2010. Now, Africa is saying that we have agenda 2063. Agenda 2063. And let me tell you this. Whoever controls your language controls your mind.
God bless the Oppong. God bless the Oppong.
I'm sorry I'm speaking too much English. But I want the so-called people who think that they've gone to the university, they've done their first degree, their master's degree, PhD, and whatsoever, to think that whosoever that controls your language controls your mind.
He is a boy, isn't she? Obi is a boy, isn't she?
And we Africans, sometimes when, you see, even when I go to church and I see pastors of the Church of Pentecost speaking English, I'm like, are these guys crazy? It's me PIWs in Peko.
Who is seen a front for this? A couple of
when was the last time you went to America? Huh? Now we see America Brony call Billy Graham. Oh, dear, I be
who is seen a
Who
is seen a
we are just confining ourselves into the powers of a language. But listen to me. We as Africans, we have been conditioned to believe that fluency in a colonial language equals intelligence. I want to take the word conditioned. I think I'm being too charitable. We have been dogmatized as Africans to believe that fluency in a colonial language equals intelligence, while speaking indigenous languages signals ignorance and backwardness. Listen, growing up at Gomota Chimay, any Adumfa. Listen, in many African schools, our children are punished for speaking their own mother tongue.
Hey, are you serious?
The school no, what can you kasa ne ya chiw ne wow. Hey,
are you seriously?
Na me patrol, boni be na me say your friend Kojo bicham.
Wait.
Kojo yirenchi. Na me chiwe me ko Grace Preparatory School Adutwum. Na ma kwaka abra ma ka fancy wo school na Mr. J and Madam Veronica no ma fakin no ma gba me.
Hey, are you seriously?
You see, when we do that, you know what we are doing? We are reinforcing shame around our identity.
I'm here for assignment. When I finish my assignment,
Peter was punished, Abraham was punished, and Taru was punished, Gladwin was punished, Efiatago, she was brutally punished for speaking her own language. This is what reinforces in education, in the law, in governance, sidelining over 2,000 languages across the continent. Now watch this. China, number one. Then China, Abraham. China had over 1,000 languages. Some were speaking French, some were speaking Portuguese, some were speaking this, some were a lot of languages in China. And I remember one of their presidents, I've forgotten the name, or say, Kasani bi wo kro no akro no nam kro nte wani onim de ankrofo ne ka then oye na o reduce na o reduce na o teso kasa ne ye teso ene China for wo mo kasa wo mo tro na wo mo ka hwade bi di mami kasa mi tro so be free UK wani or your English. That way. Okay, Kasabe, English.
Oh, I don't know.
Obi fi Portugal or your Portuguese. Okay, Kasabe, Portuguese. Obi fi Germany or your Dutch. Okay, Kasabe, Dutch. Obi fi Spain or your Spanish. Okay, Kasabe, Spanish. So Obi fi Ghana, your friend is saying Ghanaian. Kasabe no come parliament, English. Are we not crazy?
Ghana for Musorio. Ghana for Musorio.
You see, that I don't measure TV. Say yes, TV. Me brain am toy aka me pae no. Next speaker of parliament, no so din se hunu. Any parliamentarians, omo so aso muti abobo ho. Omo din se hunu. Then omo ya say, yenye one day bia, ye de beka local language. Are you guys crazy?
Honorable member, what is your name?
Are we crazy as people? You see, the whole 300 and how many days? 360. 66 JB. GH boy school. 365 for GH boy. My job certificate refuse of water. days now. And one whole year, you see Ghana there, your parliament, your one day, they kind of got in Fafra. But 364 they can be Krum Kasa, and we are happy. We are fools. Excuse my French.
Oh,
Ghana pena with me no here. No what trap on your address shop here. No come be Krum Kasa.
Oh,
moi. Krum moi.
Oh,
so my here o Krum ho. I don't know about day. Also I come by force.
Sorry, you lost the elections.
Yeah, you cheat your festivals.
No.
Yeah, Onia, your festivals. No, we no hinia can mahinia can see so. Oh yeah, they we judge the Krum Kasa no or kadai or Cabrofo.
Oh,
yeah, no, I say, Mestre sem pesame poto. O poto dai. Me kwa na se jeni na se nyadwa. O poto kontomre.
Oh,
and I poto dai. Oh, sem pesame poto. O poto dai.
Oh, that's why you want to be heard for the last time.
So now we have sat down and allow somebody's language to become the social class marker. So if you need to be marked, you should be marked in how fluent you are in somebody's foreign language.
Captain Smart.
Now the elite in our society is either they are speaking French, they are speaking English, they are speaking Portuguese, leaving our chi, leaving Hausa, the Zulu language, the Yoruba, the beautiful language I adore. The January to her. I believe you Oklahoma, Okuja to friends, says on country, or because on ma, on Monia. From Okuja to on Kawa. Or because of a camera for. I believe you, Person Ghana Casa, Person camera for. Why? What is wrong with you? Ghana Pedes, I will call me Krum Kasa, no can hear any about some amount. Wukati, Nasa Person can lorry, now can lorry, yes, that's a member.
Captain Smart.
I'm not yes, and I'm doing well. I don't take shot.
Even Chinese for the RNL, no one can come bomb by heart. We appreciate that. What was I say? Yakwa sorry, Pentecost yakwa sorry na India ni bi fi abroche in the Krum besra yen wo ya sorry dem. Oba ye no na otutwi ndwom. Enwum na oto na nyanyuma ye pe wen ye de da na ase atwam mo Pentecost aso dem. Ye mfa nya hwe wa so dem na kwa mboa.
But kakigegege ben.
Ena Pentecost ndwum na to hu ye wa da na ase atwam.
But it kakigegege ben. Metio bunsanso, metio bunsa.
And my yes, Jesus, and da, huna hanimuno, yes or no. Yeningwase ni pedye yi wo bese san ayeno fofro ya ben until sikampano yeni Jesus bedi hinda dana si etem yetu Sunday school ba India ni ba no to dana say ye na yaso asofo ina obi afade hanki dam what's that now shed at the dia what you say obi otini krom kura no peye kasa naka I didn't say ye peye kasa. Anytime you erase the language of people, you erase their memory. Anytime you take the language of the people from them, you erase their memory. Nana Kwame go school or two says here, Opa Bisano. Saturday and teacher channel SS1. General science, Opa Fan Business or Mecas or Betina Kaiba Kokura. Now, teacher got photosynthesis. I am photosynthesis, which is a day. Oh, yeah. Manaka Sabro for the Chosokaya. Oh, yeah. So anytime you take away or you erase the language of the people, you erase their memory. Nelson Mandela said something like that. The language that we speak, Kasana Yekano. Language is the archive of a people's soul. The language that we speak is our soul. Chino kra, eweno kra, dagombano kra, frafrano kra, whatever. Listen. Say ye kaya krom kasa. What the proverbs? What the be? Philosophies in the same ka. Yet with the tonium and ye the two ding. You're from Mawena by force of a so cabrofo. You're from century from Nikete Trim. Listen, our indigenous languages actually hold indigenous knowledge and systems. The language that we speak, it holds our indigenous language and our indigenous systems.
He is smart.
About agriculture,
he is smart.
About medicine, about peace building, and even spirituality. Who told you that lie? Eyabosomsom obo fontom from eyabosomsom obo aprede eyabosomsom obo asafo na yenya asore mu mpanimfo a woti abofom aka cho sese afashesi ukrom na ukobi na yebo asafo yebo fontom from yebo aprede yebo kete yedi homowo na ukobi ya hey wasombosom paboda it is because of brofo. Me am going to know why we tie. I see the need to me or the two way. And then the casa dey come. What can the CS so? What share brofre go aso be why we we atogotem. Come brofo no pacha. Le na oko. Ghana for Musorio. Sir, Opesa or Titi Aquada Palma, and Tidia O Canasia. Can and Nana or no Casacheren. And we think it's normal. They say, you cut China, Chinese Casa. You betray a man who cage. Wait, I don't know. That I told the people you see, sitting here, I am not advocating for us to abandon the so-called English or French. I mean, they can be, well, take it or leave it or whatever you think. They can be a very useful global tool. Look, colonial languages they are very useful but very dangerous. I was reading a certain document. There's this man, he's called Steve Biko. And he said something. So I just wanted to go and refresh and come back to tell you. He said that the greatest weapon in the world and in the hand of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. He's a South African activist, right? He said the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. So listen, America is not interested. So who took galamse? Who are bringing sikasi and to galamse? A coin I am so now say no in America or in China. So when you catch China on fire, coin be yes, school day, boo. What is all my brains? Kasi and fancy freedom. I didn't let China this Sikaba say, or the Sikabai 2023. Our enemies are many. Yanfanka Chinese Kasa, our hay, our schools. Our enemies are many. Say, bet you cry any compulsory. It's a pilot project. Really? I just told somebody outside there, said, language is the software of thoughts. Language is the software of thoughts. I just said it outside there when I was going to refresh myself to get Steve Biko's thing. Anytime your mind runs on a foreign language, you want to be seen as speaking pure quality English, French. Your world view, your dreams, your ambitions are majority of the time foreign. And ayana minim dientia ebi before yempe bibia asa before ye bibia ye wono yempe he wo ka obi kasa ohu oto adwene twene efiri ne ho. Now watch this. Ghana kasa ye kan doso ye wewe ye odagban ye wo gan ye wo fafra ye wo krobo ye wo den ye wo da ye wo we ye wo nzima ye wo mfante ye wo den e doso. As a country ye na ebetimi atena se efi enakui ye kasa bebreba ye we when him said GTV started ye fe bibi no more program ye omuka woman the local language sin na ye refidi no omo ka bi grai omo ba ye mfante kakra omo wanzema omo odagban ne Ghana ha ye select some languages I say no na ye languages I can pa okrum ha ba ye num saka sana na ye ka okrum ha no saka ye de ya dwen koso ye se oman a aka ye betimi a build it. Sa kasa na be ye miensa. Na ye gusuka. Na ya be build mienu. Ye ni be ba ye ho so no na Ghana ye kasa baako. When him say oman ya won kasa ye baako no, edin. Say ntokwa be si so mining. my better than 2013. The metia me no care.
Wait.
The metia ni se me no care. Can't teshima ibu.
Bini oh.
Me sorry amebo. Wo da pom ho ye prawo. Da ben na be sorry.
De o wia.
O fa na ba bie chese braha. Ba cho bra.
Bini ye ni po.
Hey, GH boy, Antaru Achebo. Chese Antaru freo.
Wait.
Osebra.
Mo nwi sen ni.
Me ban kran dem tie ani. Wo ye mistake na onya ye di kan pe de to aso bia na asamato.
Mo nwi sen ni pa.
Wo pa ye mistake na fa onya ye.
Wait.
De to aso bia do e de asem mebre wo. Opa, wo de wonya tie mo onya ye. Wo ye be ma. Fa bibi soso ho. Na wonim time na yesu san we de me me aka se ya hwe movie na se blow man no obokina ni mi no so be na me bo a won ka bi da asoma me kan ya person wo che me wi won ka bi da
Wait.
eti yete mfante yete kumase no na yete so me kasa wo hwese no obi bo obi blow a chese wo de ho ode so me
na gbe mi
me bedu karam ki say say so me no say so me ne yanka o say pese ye manu suyen yansa ewa ye fam ha ye sese di kan ni say ye de ye krom kasa ne tete ye ma no ansa ye de obi kasa e de aka ho me stress yenya ye awofo no yenja say by force aya na me dwun ha me ntia say asantini ba pa odi akwa ejewa no aka ne CS so o se brofo nko na meka are you crazy na ye den wo ya wo abrochire o ya wo asra so chinchiri tachia by force say kabrofo. So let the language revolution begin today and now. Parents, awofonom yen kakasa wo ye fie. I think I need to do a proper paper on this.
No police ni no bo ma me no ka shinkudru. Na ka me no de bi.
Have to do a proper paper on this. We need to start a language revolution in this country and it must begin now.
Yen one is say na mbe.
Where we will task our parents to speak our languages. Then na efe sanka meti hei ka meti nkran meti twi meti dagbani meti frafra. Then anka ne fe etie. I am not saying throw away brofo to brofo twene to French twene o. Me say they must coexist. Because mashe Putin di Putin te brofo pa. But what is a Putin ka brofo da?
Le.
When was a Putin? Russia president. What is all ka brofo da? Or te brofo brutal. Maybe you don't know. Macron or English speaking college or France. Macron French man penny or te brofo brutal. What is our camera for that?
Yen one is saying I'm being.
If you don't know, let me tell you, Donald Trump or a Dutch of Germany or an American. Na William Trump. Now see the Chancellor of your friend say Germany, Kosrano, or the nana birth certificate to Kurakomano. Donald Trump or the Dutch Kasan Bruta. But what is our kabida? na dentina say yɛkɔ United Nations Heads of State Conference baby we say amam panifo ina akɔyɛ nhyiamu no say Chinese president China president koduru ha no waka ne kurom kasa ne yaka che John Dramani Mahama say fa de hye waso ne translate ma
wa beba first adu sika beba first imagine ma
say Zimping ekodu UN General Assembly no waka ne kurom kasa de etimi de ama Mahama ina ne say o de earphone hye na so na ya translate ya ma no
bibini bibini ye nipa o bibini
Macron koduru ha o kan kurom kasa na nadu kodu de na ebobo Mahama koduru ha the same thing Jekufo the same thing Rosamis the same thing JJ Rollins the hey
Jimamo ntra ho na mo ye NDC for no mo tia do mo hweme
we need to invest in documentation and development of native language. And this must be the role of government. We need to start documenting some of our own things in our native language. We can even digitalize it. Media houses in this country must begin to create and develop content in our local languages. Even cartoons, dramas, news, podcasts, and comics. Enye India ni a okatwi. Na yakofa India sene. Na ye obi ho ade na ye de ade akota no mama so ba. Da be de no wo se dagbani ni. Ye no ho ade a ye de kala kosi ni mama so. Aibeni. Ye aibeni ho ade a ye de kala kota na mama so. Ye akani ba ho ade a ye de ade kota na mama so. Na TV stations e wokruma sabe nsem hunu nti na yakofa India ni ye no ho ade na ye katwi. Enti na India ni timi Ghana ni timi ware. Person address it say India ni umodam
me committee kese ma bodu self ni sanka me
actually those who are tech developers, listen to me. We need to localize our interfaces. We got to do that. Say pa keyboard yes simanim hey ni twi e wo mo he gwen ne ewe wo he ne dagbani wo he ne frafra wo he but ene ukwasu sesi ya metimi a reset keyboard we na ma me French na ma me Chinese gwen. Can we reorient our tech developers to have some localized interfaces, keyboards, voice assistants in African languages? Now say na me sheda wo a maye a mobile phone ni amane me pese me bo bi adi. O say wo pese wo tie brofo a nia one gwen. Say wo pese wo ka enkranya mia 2 na enkran no 2 ye ni 2 won kran na say wo pese wo ka wo di empanifo no bi kasa mia nsoroma no.
You have just 1 minute remaining.
Listen, the tech developers now, our churches must understand. The mosques must begin to preach, not just in colonial tongues, but in the spiritual language of the people. We got to start doing that. And our educators must begin to fight for the bilingual and other tongue-based education systems. Instead of sitting down and always thinking that, hey, I am this, I am that. The artists and the musicians, the kiddies, the shatawalis, the stone boys, patois is fine. But let's hear the gun, let's hear the frafra, let's hear the dagbani. We want to hear the tree. They need to preserve the sound of the ancestors in our arts. Listen. Every time you speak your mother language, you decolonize your brain. So, to lose your language is to lose your tribe and your identity twice. So, no people
smart, the king
and rise above language
shows.
that teaches them they are inferior. You can never rise above that. And Africa's liberation would begin
Captain Smart
on the day, that day, when our children dream in their own languages. English, French may give you a job, but your native language will give you a soul. Can I say that again? The English that you speak, the foreign languages that you speak, that can offer you a job. But your native language, the Tree, the Ewe, the Dagbani, the Frafra, the Gan, will offer you a soul.